Hello, everyone. Our guest today is an SF State alumna who is a former cinema and animation student and the founder of her very own indie studio, Kitty K Studios. She's the creative mind behind the soon-to-be-released animated pilot, Nightgrim. Before we bring her out, let's take a look at the official teaser.
Monster Hunter. What a fascinating title. Was I put on this earth to ruin their lives and go on my merry way? Why am I here?
Now, to tell us more about the project and her journey from SF State student to studio founder, please welcome the creator of Nightgrim herself, Katarina Fink.
Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Yeah, so our first question for you is, what inspired you to make your very own animated pilot?
Oh gosh, so much stuff. I think the root of it is I really wanted to keep my own creative liberties on my own story, because pitching it to a studio or something, they want to take control of it, and then by doing that, they take out everything that makes it good, and so it was really important to me to not only keep my creative liberties on my story, but also help other artists along the way to get on my team, and
Love it. So I have an interesting question for you. When you were writing Nightgrim, what character did you see yourself in the most when you were writing, and why? Kind of putting you on the spot there. But, yeah.
Well, as a writer, I'm sure you kind of put your soul into all of your characters, and sometimes you're like, what aspect did that come from? Like, where is he a little,
Yep.
But I think I'm primarily see myself in Jack and Luella. I kind of see Luella, she's kind of like my external persona, kind of a giggle mug, if you will. But then I feel like with Jack, he's kind of like my internal, kind of me in my room alone working on projects,
Yeah.
So definitely those two characters.
I always joke around writing for characters as introverted acting. 'Cause
Yes.
you're kind of pouring a little bit of yourself into every character as you write them. So it's kind of just it's a way to act, but you're doing it alone and kind of going crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, exactly. Yeah. And I think by doing that too, bringing those real aspects of yourself into your characters, it makes them real along with it.
Yeah.
And in the end, it makes them more relatable and more three-dimensional, and the story is more interesting because of it.
Yeah,
So.
I can't stress that enough. It's so important to have characters that are relatable, the audience can see themselves in, or else they're not going to care.
Exactly.
That's just in my opinion, but I think that's so important.
I agree full-heartedly. Yeah.
So is there a fun experience that you had working on Nightgrim? What was the most fun part?
Oh my goodness, I love all of it. But I think working on the script with my co-script writer, Kate, it's so fun. We'll be writing this, we'll have an idea of what the episode's about, but then something else will happen completely that we'll write, and we're like, oh, okay, I guess the character is their own person now, writing the script themselves.
I love it.
And it's so fun because you start exploring aspects of a character or a story that you weren't originally planning to explore, but I think in that way it's more natural.
The characters really write themselves, The
Yes,
story writes itself.
Exactly. Yeah, and that way it's good, It's just flowing. And I think another aspect along with that is character design. I love character designing because it's storytelling, but in the design of a character, And you want to make sure that the silhouette and everything on your character, you want a basic idea of that character's story just by looking at them. And so it's fun to, figure that out.
That was actually another question that I wanted to ask you, because you do a lot. You were a very big part in the process of Nightgrim. You were writing, producing, animating, you do it all, right?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming writing is your favorite.
Yes. I love writing, and I love the animation as well. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes when you're the only animator and you're doing the same face over and over again, it's just
tedious.
Yeah, you need a little breath of fresh air. So I go write another episode when that happens.
I can't wait to be best friends with you. We can just talk all about animation writing, because I can talk all day. I just love like, you know, stories and characters. Like, it's just my favorite part of the whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not much of a drawer.
Yeah.
But I do love to write. And so that was actually like another question that I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Because you were an animation minor at SF State. Is there a class in particular that was your favorite? I would assume the stuff where you got to do like character designs was your favorite.
I loved Ben's pre-production class for animation. That one was really fun because I got to combine the two things I love, designing characters and then also writing a background for them.
Yeah. I was actually supposed to be in the animation pre-production class, and then I dropped it day one because I just knew it wasn't going to work with my schedule, which is unfortunate because I love animation and I really want to learn about pre-production because I just really like writing, and I'm not that great at drawing, but I think pre-production is really important because it's kind of goes hand in hand with drawing. A lot of the storyboards and the character designs, it's all about conceptualizing your story, and I think that's important, and that's the part of the process that excites me the most. But I'm a Becca major, so I have to commit. I can't be like a major and minor and
totally
everything.
Get it. Yeah. And I would also say my other favorite class was Martha's Animation 3 class. Because it was, we had to do a poem animation as well as a PSA. And it was really fun to break the boundaries of those because with my poem animation, I did like a cool robot kind of thing. And it was just, that class was a lot of fun because it forced you to really break a lot of not boundaries, but you know, stuff that you're comfortable
you
with.
like kind of the challenge of it, being able to kind of you know, be assigned to make art about a certain thing, or
like it was really the first time that you could really like, wow, okay, I have to really brainstorm how to creatively tell this story or creatively tell this poem. So I loved that class.
I like that kind of structure of college because it's I know us kind of like creative types were very in our heads and we have so many ideas, and then it's like sometimes things just don't get done. So it's like, I kind of like the structure of how a college class can say like, oh, you got to make an assignment on this, you got to make an assignment on that. And it gets you to actually like start making stuff.
I'm such a goal-oriented person, so having those deadlines really helps me get things done. You know, otherwise I'm like such a perfectionist and I'll just keep working on it and I'll always see something wrong with it.
Something that like I've done that's helped me when I try to write like screenplays and stuff is I try to set, even if it's like not being turned in at a certain time, like I'm just writing it for myself, but I still will set like a deadline where I'm pretending in my head, I'm like, oh, I have to get this done by this week because if not, I'll start overthinking it and I'm not going to get anything done. So I think that structure is like really helpful and really important.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more.
So you are the founder of your own independent studio, Kitty K Studios, right? Okay. So I was just wondering, like, when that studio was like first founded, or are there like any other important like projects that you made with that studio other than like Nightgrim, or that you plan to make in the future?
I kind of started going under the Kitty K Studios kind of name around the time I started Nightgrim, because I went under another name that was just kind of, I don't know, I kind of grew out of it. But, you know, everyone calls me Kitty. That's a nickname people call me.
Your name's Katarina.
Right, exactly. So so there's this username I went under for a long time, and I was like, you know, it's time I actually have like a real studio name, you know? So around the time I started developing Nightgrim, around 2020, 2021, I came up with Kitty K Studios. I'm like, that sounds really cute, and you know, so it's perfect. Exactly. It even has like a little logo animation and everything. So. And as for like future projects, gosh, I have so many. One of the, I have two things I'm going to make after the pilot is finished, which is I have another shorter pilot I want to make for another series idea I have. And then I have, the other thing I want to make is a short film that's an animation of one of my albums that I've made.
Oh, an album, like music?
Yeah, I also make music.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, under Kitty Opus.
Oh, what kind of music do you make?
It's like electronic music, but kind of, I like to tell stories. So my albums are, you know, when you listen through it all together, it tells a story.
Yeah.
And,
have you ever thought about kind of combining those two passions, like making a soundtrack for like an animation that you make or something
That's
like that?
That's exactly what I want to do. Yeah, I have this album. I'm like, I want to make it a whole movie, you know? So I wanted to make each track an animation and like put all the music videos together. And, so that's one of the other projects I plan to do.
I love that.
Yeah.
So is there like a favorite like animated show or like movie that you liked watching growing up that's kind of just like a big inspiration for you, or that you can like credit as like the reason why that you got into animation?
Oh my gosh, so much. You know, I grew up in a very creative family with a lot of, you know, animation around me. So I'd say like one of my favorite films is Prince of Egypt by DreamWorks. It's such an influential film on me. It's so beautiful and
I
epic.
love DreamWorks.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, I love DreamWorks too. Everything they make is just so good.
Yeah.
Shrek.
Of course. Shrek is the best.
It's peak.
It's peak cinema. Yes.
Peak cinema. I'd also say like, well, when I was like 13 or so, I started getting into like anime, you know,
Yeah,
and
of course.
yes, of course. So I'd say that was also a really big influence into getting into the creativeness as a career rather than just a hobby. And because
Do you have like a favorite anime series, or like do you like kind of anime series or like anime movies?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't watch a lot of it anymore, but at the time I was really into Bleach. So like I really like,
yeah, you have to educate me because I don't really watch anime.
Yeah,
so.
it's like it's a shonen. It's, you know, I also really like Attack on Titan and stuff like that, you know. But I'd also say like a manga I really liked that was very influential for Nightgrim was The Gray Man. So that's another big one. But I also really like Avatar: Last Airbender.
I love
you know?
Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love Azula because she's
Yeah.
such a queen. Like, it's probably bad that I relate to her, but I just really like her.
I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I love Sokka. Has always been my favorite.
Oh, Sokka. Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah, that's definitely a show that was very influential as well because of like that big epic story arc, the 3 seasons. You know, it's still fun, but also serious at times when it needs to be, and that's kind of what I aim for with like Nightgrim.
Yeah.
So.
I know, I really like that. I appreciate that with animated shows when they don't run for too long.
Yes.
And they know how to kind of wrap things up and stuff. I really like that.
Well, that's the beauty of animation is you have to plan ahead of time. And, you know, you have to plan the script, you have to plan the
Since you're already
storyboards.
planning, it's like you may as well write something serialized.
Exactly. And so because everything's planned, you know, the story is there and they're not guessing along the way, you know, so that's what just really great thing
I'm
about
probably
animation.
the opposite because I really like just the cheesy old school like sitcom feel in cartoons. So I like cartoons that are episodic and they're wrapped up at the end.
Those are fun. I love those. I mean, like
those.
Phineas and Ferb, one of my favorite shows as a kid. Yeah.
We're gonna wrap things up soon. Do you like have kind of an estimate of like when we can expect to see Nightgrim? Like when do we get to watch it?
I'm so glad you asked that because just like a month ago, I made the decision to split the pilot into 2 parts because it's a full-on 30-minute pilot, maybe a little over. So I you know, and I was animating it all myself, and I'm just like, I don't think I can do all this. And it's over halfway animated. It is almost done, but I finally made the decision to split it up. So my goal at the moment is to get part 1 finished by like early November, either end of this month or early November, and then have it out in December.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We're so excited to see it.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas present.
A Christmas present,
Yes.
that's right, yeah.
Ooh.
And then probably for part 2, very early 2026.
So do you plan on like making it a whole series, like not just a pilot, like you're gonna have like a whole bunch of episodes?
I have 3 season outlines for 3 seasons, and I even have an entire detailed outline for season 1. So.
Are you gonna like kind of pitch it to a big studio, or are you just gonna kind of like put it on YouTube, or like where are we gonna
I think what I'm gonna do is I want to put on YouTube and again just go my own route because I don't want other people to take my story that's very personal to me and mess with it, you know. So I'm gonna do it independent as long as I can, you know. Yeah. So but I think
please don't sell out.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna. No worries, I'm not selling out with Nightgrim.
We love you the way that you are, Katarina.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's the plan. Is no matter how long it takes, I'm gonna make it. So.
Yes. And then I have one last question for you here. So because you are like an indie artist and the founder of your own indie studio, like what advice would you give to San Francisco State students, you know, work in creative arts departments and all of that? Like what advice would you give them on how they can break into the entertainment industry in their own unconventional ways as an indie artist? What advice would you give? Yeah,
I mean, I think there's a whole lot of stuff. I would say discipline is really important, self-discipline, and just if you have a goal and you want to get somewhere, work on it a little bit every day, and eventually you'll get there. Yeah. You know, I'd also recommend make sure you have a nice council where you can bounce ideas off of, because it's really nice to know if you're not doing something right, and you know,
it makes it less lonely too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really nice to have that, like, hey, I'm your support, or hey, you know, maybe you could try this instead, or whatever. So that's definitely something that I would recommend. I'd also recommend be open to doing a lot of things in the production pipeline, you know, or or even not even the production pipeline, just being in the film industry, like work at a film festival so you can
Get the
meet
experience
people.
anywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
meet filmmakers, even if it's a janitor at a big studio.
You
know,
gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you know, you want to make those connections and meet more people, and that way it also gives yourself more opportunities. The more experience you get, and the more people you meet in the industry, you know. So those are definitely the big three things I would recommend.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have for you today, Katarina, but thank you so much for being here. We're really, really happy and really excited to get to see Nightgrim.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you all for watching and joining us today. You can learn more about Nightgrim at nightgrim.com. Also, be sure to visit ko-fi.com/Nightgrim to give Katarina your full support. Thank you.
Thank you so much.